Boosie just announced that for the time being, he's starting his own podcast and he's done doing Vlad TV interviews unless Vlad TV is willing to pay him what he thinks he's worth. Now, Sean Cotton from Say Cheese is close to both Vlad TV and Boosie, and he reveals that the reason why Boosie is asking for a pay increase or asking for that much from Vlad TV is because Boosie's seeing what Vlad TV pays 6ix9ine.
I ain't do Vlad no more. We couldn't come up with a agreement. He ain't want to pay me. I wanted $5,000 more than he wanted to pay me. He ain't want to pay me, so. I think I'm gonna make more money doing it this way. And I'm editing my interview now. I don't know what time it is. Let's talk about it. Uh-oh. Y'all get ready. Just 7 months. Let's go.
The reason why this shocked everybody, well, at least the general public, is because Boosie have sung Vlad TV's praises for giving him a lot of money for these interviews.
They've been freaking fracked for like a long time.
If you are privy to some information behind the scenes, that you know that Boosie lied about how much Vlad has been paying him for years. Like when Boosie went on the Breakfast Club and told the world like he made $500,000 this year off of Vlad TV interviews, but Boosie only did like 8 interviews that year, so people thought that Boosie was saying he was making over $40,000 per Vlad TV interview. No. I knew behind the scenes Boosie was lying because I understood that Vlad TV was paying Boosie dramatically less than $40-something thousand
How much
per
was
interview.
it there? How much was
but
it there?
Boosie wanted the world to think that he was making much more than he really was. Weirdo. And that
if that's true,
weirdo. Help! Turn put Vlad in a lot of issues because now every guest that Vlad was trying to book, every high-profile guest, they was asking for the Boosie number. When in fact Boosie was lying the entire time.
Get millions. If not, I can make.
Ain't that kind of money in it?
I don't want it because I can make $500,000 with Vlad every year, man.
Damn.
Vlad. I don't really need it if it ain't.
Say that and Vlad helped me out a lot more. So I gotta, we gotta talk about you.
$500,000 with Vlad?
A year.
Why don't the rappers just say, give me 20% of whatever it make? That would be a lot smarter.
Close to it.
God damn, salute to Vlad then.
Almost immediately I found out that was cap. I know the real number, by the way, that Boosie was getting from Vlad, and it was nowhere close to $40,000 whatsoever. But Boosie was telling the world this. Now, Boosie kind of admitted he was capping because when he stopped doing Vlad TV interviews for a while, and when Vlad paid 6ix9ine $50K, Boosie then came out and said he only wants $40,000 from Vlad. Well, if you only want $40,000, then wasn't you already getting $40,000? You was making $500K a year from Vlad off of 8 interviews, apparently.
Right.
So wasn't you getting paid?
That's what it seemed like
already, but apparently not.
He pitched it to me, and I initially said no because the amount of money was too high. Right, I never paid this much for an interview. And I was doing academic show.
And you're not going to say how much you paid him?
I'll say this.
I think you should not. So I back that. Because I feel like we don't want everybody to know what's possible.
I'll say this.
No, for real.
It was more than Marlon Wayans wanted.
But besides the perpetual revenue percentage
I'll just
split.
leave it just at that.
Okay.
It was more than what Marlon Wayans wanted.
Right.
Right. But in this case, I felt this really was a very serious interview that would really blow up. Whereas a Marlon Wayans interview would just be a cool interview with a known actor/comedian.
And to be fair, 6ix9ine for the last 5 years or whatever has been very much kind of not doing long form interviews, and especially not the kind of interviews that you do where you go into the depths and details of everything. You know,
what I was gonna do, I knew was gonna be potentially big, but I wasn't gonna do it just because of the price associated with it.
So to everybody that want to know, unless Vlad is living under a rock and don't know how to run his YouTube channel, $50,000 is about 5 million views, 4 maybe 5 million views. Y'all always ask me to show y'all exactly how to get rich on YouTube, so I made a full-blown course. It's not complete yet, but you can order it right now. There's 5 hours of content in it right now. It'll be like 12 or 15-hour full course once it's done. It'll be done by April 1st, all right? So click the link in the description, get your course, and start learning how to really get rich on YouTube. I'm not just no one-hit wonder type guy. No, I have more than 40 channels that make me hundreds of thousands of dollars altogether every single month. Like, I'm checking straight bags off of this, just sitting in my crib, recording, making videos. So if you want to learn exactly how I do it, I'm showing you how to clip farm, how to edit, how to upload, how to make thumbnails, how to develop your character, how to make shorts, how to make clips, right? I'm giving you every piece of every single type of strategy that you will ever need to get rich on YouTube. So click that link. It's not a super cheap course, but it ain't expensive. It's only $150. And if you use the code MACMULA, you could get 20% off of that $150. So go get you some money. You know what I'm saying? So that's how many views you need to get on all. But you know, when you clip it up and you clip it up and you break it down for the clips for TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, yeah, the YouTube Shorts. You drop an 8-minute video every day for a whole month because the interview was 3 hours long and you paid them 50 racks. You could easily get 10 million views off of it. You know what I'm saying? You drop 30 videos. A lot of these niggas be getting hundreds of thousands of views per video. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you rack up that bag. Yeah.
I was doing an academic show and I mentioned to him as we were just hanging out afterwards. He was like, yo, man, you should do that shit. Yo, you should, that's gonna be the biggest shit. You should do that shit.
Marlon Wayne obviously asked for $40,000. We now know for a fact, I can tell you for a fact, Vlad TV paid 6ix9ine $50,000 for the interview. I don't even think it's a secret anymore. Okay. So when Boosie got that number in his head, Boosie like, I need 40.
I need 5.
Vlad like, you don't need 40. I'm not giving you 40. Damn. It's not happening.
Get paid one time, so I got to get paid good. I'm sorry, I don't need a podcast. Are you done with DJ Vlad because he did one with 6ix9ine? Nah. You know how many rats Vlad done did podcasts with? That ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't got nothing against no 6ix9ine. I ain't got no beef with 6ix9ine. I don't care who Vlad doing no podcast with. That ain't none of my motherfucking business. But you gotta pay me. I don't give a that ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm feeding my family off a podcast. I ain't know what he paid 6ix9ine. He did shit.
Boosie gonna learn though, boy, nigga. You think you finna just sit down and get you a little 40,000 piece real quick off YouTube? But no, I think it don't work like that, boy. No sirree, Bob, nigga. Dude, you think you gonna pull 4-5 million views on one podcast? You interviewing yourself the first time you do it? No. Is your channel monetized yet, my guy? Because if it ain't, you ain't getting shit until it is. You gonna find out quick, boy. This game ain't no joke. Now you famous and you Boosie and all, and that's cool. But it ain't as simple as just put the camera up, talk some crazy shit. No, it ain't like that, nigga.
All I want is 40, bro. Like, I ain't on no 100K shit. Give me 40. I'm worth that, right? Am I worth that? 40?
But I would have gave him 40.
That's not why you haven't seen me on Vlad. I'm not mad about no 6ix9ine interviews.
I will say that, though. Overall, I don't think 40 is a bad number for Boosie. I think he would have made his profit. He would have at least doubled his profit. Unless he's doing something stupid on his channel. He would at least double his profit for sure. 2-3 hour interview with Boosie. For sure. For sure.
I didn't even watch the interview. I don't watch other people's interviews. I don't watch other people's shit, bro. I just go up there and do me. I'm not worried about that's his job. If he won't, that's Vlad's job. That ain't got nothing to do with me, bro. That ain't why you ain't seen me on the Vlad TV. That's not it. I just haven't been paid. When it's time for me to get paid, when anybody, it's not just Vlad, anybody who want me on their podcast, I'm ready. I'm so ready. I'm so ready to talk about this shit that's going on. I'm ready. I've been ready since in November. I'm ready.
I can tell you this for a fact. That 6ix9ine number that's flowing out there, that has been the biggest hindrance from Vlad TV and Boosie sitting down. Vlad offered Boosie a raise. Like, Vlad offered to give Boosie, a little bit more money.
Okay.
But Boosie wants to get to that $40,000 range because Boosie feels like if 6ix9ine can get 50, you giving me 20 is too disrespectful.
Yeah. I think 40 not a bad number though.
Now,
I really don't think.
I think
40 is a bad
Vlad
number.
even went up to like, because Boosie claims he just won 5K more. So I'm assuming Vlad went up to like 30. And Boosie like, nah, I want 50.
5K is just an extra 500,000 views, just about. So he only got to get an extra 500,000 views to get his same amount of profit. I'm not saying no to that. So I don't know what the fuck Vlad got going on.
Now, Sean Cotton, right, who runs Say Cheese TV, he actually gives his take on this. Now, he goes on to say that the reason why Boosie is asking for this is because of him hearing how much Vlad TV paid 6ix9ine.
It gets tricky with the numbers because, like I said, this is a new business and it's really hard to see what somebody's really worth. Now, a lot of people, Boosie just came out saying that, he's not doing no more Vlad interviews because, they couldn't agree on the $5,000 increase. I think Boosie is worth that $5,000 increase. If that was me, if I was Vlad, I would have did it.
I would have did it.
Because Boosie doesn't do a lot of interviews. If you see a lot of these people, the OG Percy's, the Charleston Whites, it's a lot of people who do a lot of interviews, and I get that. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it. But Boosie's somebody who doesn't do a lot of interviews, and you could really pay him. And he hasn't been on Boosie in about 8 months. So the interview would have went crazy. A lot has passed. There's a lot to talk about.
For sure.
Vlad's just, I heard he's kind of,
cheap.
Vlad is Vlad, man. Like, but yeah, it's a tricky game.
I agree if Boosie was asking for an extra 5 for a one-off interview, but if Boosie is asking for the extra 5 to be the new rate, then I understand from a Vlad angle. It's like, bruh, I can't afford to pay you the 5K extra, especially if the margins doesn't make sense, right? Like if Boosie is asking, hey, Vlad, give me 40,000 for my first return interview, and Vlad said, okay, bet.
Yeah.
That's different from, hey, give me 40,000 every time I come and sit and do an interview with you. That's a little different, and that's where I think Vlad is like,
I ain't gonna lie, even myself on this channel, like I would consider somewhere around 40,000 to pay him to do like a reaction with you or something like that. If I could come up with something like crazy, for sure. Because Boosie, I'm gonna get, even if I don't get like my 40,000 off of the one video. First of all, if he's sitting down with me doing reaction for 2 hours, I can react to 10 videos in 2 hours. So I'm gonna get my money back for sure. That's all I need though. But I'm in a different position than Vlad because I'm still trying to hit 1 million subs. So if I pay Boosie 40 or like 35 or 30 or whatever the case is, and I get my 3-4 million views back, I don't necessarily need the profit. I'm just trying to get them fans in because I'll profit off of it later. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you might pay a nigga for a feature. That song might not blow up, but the people, that song might not get you the money back that you paid for the feature. But all the fans that you gather from paying for that feature and getting them eyes on you could turn into millions for real. You see what I'm saying?
On, bro.
Vlad,
this may not make sense whatsoever.
But I would pay him 5 more thousand, no problem.
Charleston White kind of ruined the game too. Everybody wants Charleston White is running around talking about how much he makes per interview. So now everybody's trying to be on his level, and it's not too many Charleston Whites in this interview space. I think Boosie. I think it's Boosie, Charleston White, and everybody else is seasonal, just depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
But you got like Woody from Atlanta. He had hit me up and tried to charge me 10,000, and I just, I don't
know what's the problem with that though. I don't get that one. Woody, 10,000? All I need is 1 million views to get my money back on Woody. I mean, maybe they trying to go for the big, like, you know what I'm saying, crazy margins. Maybe they trying to triple their money. I don't know. But, nigga, I'll pay Woody 10, bro. I'm gonna get to sit down with me for 2-3 hours. Like, let's go look at Vlad TV. Let's just go look at it right now. Vlad TV, Woody. Damn, what the fuck I'm checking? Damn, same video I'm watching. Yeah, like 500,000. Shit. This the full interview. This not even the clips. This just the full interview. He made 6 racks off of it. 7, 8 racks, really, because it's a 2-hour video. Then you got all the parts that made all this other money. Look, 69K. That's $700. That's $500. This 2 racks. That's a rack. Like, I'm gonna make my 10 racks back off Woody for sure. For sure. In a 2-hour interview, 2-hour collab, for sure.
I don't get it. I don't get a lot of these dudes like.
And the clips too.
And
I'm gonna get a sponsorship for every interview. Man, y'all
you
crazy.
feel like you're worth. That's what you feel like you're worth. But y'all aren't making $10,000. Y'all aren't even making the money back a lot of the times. So it's like we pay y'all $10,000, and the interview only makes $7,000, and then it's just
hell nah, bro.
We lose, you win, and that's okay. That's how the business goes sometimes. I get it, but if I clearly see you're not making $10,000, why would I pay you $10,000 and you hitting me up? So I didn't understand that from Moody. Like, these people aren't trying to build with you. They're not trying to, because when I found Charleston, it was, I didn't pay him for the first 2. Then I slowly started paying him.
I'm going to say this, and this is where I get on the side of the people asking to get paid. There is no building when it comes to a platform. There's no building. That's just a lie from the pits of hell. There is no building, okay? If you go on Sean Cotton and you do 1 million views 10 times, you are getting Sean Cotton the subscribers.
Right.
You are building Sean Cotton's platform up.
Right.
Sean Cotton could say, forget you today, and then bring on somebody else.
Exactly. I just did the math, though, gang. I just did the math. So let's say I want to pay Woody, for example, right? I want to pay, and this real sauce. Clip this. If I want to pay Lil Woody $10,000 for an interview or a YouTube collab, or let's say I'm Say Cheese and I want to pay him for an interview, $10,000, okay? So roughly, you'll get about $10 for every 1,000 views on YouTube. So you get $10. You'll need 1 million views to make back your $10,000 investment, okay? But let's say I get them to sit down for 2 hours. I need every video, every clip, every part of the interview I drop on every day. I need that to be at least 8 minutes. You see what I'm saying? Because if it's 8 minutes long, I can put a bunch of ads on there, number 1. And number 2, I can get a sponsorship for every video. Now, knowing that I have somebody like Lil Woody or a Boosie coming on, companies will happily book a spot in that interview for, let's say, on the low end, $1,000 a spot. I get 3 or 4 spots throughout the 2-hour interview. So now I already made my $5,000 before I even interviewed him. I already got my $5,000 back. So now all I need to do is make 5 more thousand. In order for me to make 5 more thousand, how many views do I need? 500,000 views. Okay. So now if I only need 500,000 views to make my initial investment back, and everything after that is profit, break it down like this. So he sat down for 2 hours. That's 120 minutes. If I divide that by 8, I need each video to be 8 minutes. I'm going to get 15. Okay. So now if I need 500,000 views and I got 15 different clips, I'm going to drop from the interview plus the whole interview, the full interview. So that's more money, right? So all I need to do is get 33,000 views per part of the interview that I drop, and I'll make my money back. At least. If I get 66,000, I double it. You see what I'm saying? And I'm getting subscribers. And the people who watching my videos gonna go watch other interviews now. And I'm gonna pop up on their algorithm now. And y'all crazy, bro.
And he already got the subscribers and the clout from it. There is no building, right? Like, you only value is what you get paid from them.
Right.
Now, you know, like, there are things like, for example, you know, like you go on Vlad TV and you get visibility and you might get extra bookings, cool.
Yeah.
But those are the extra bookings outside of that platform. There's no building up. Like, there's no, yo, let's build this thing. No. You can only build something up if you have equity in that.
Exactly.
So if I'm Woody, I'm not going for that
I'm not
kind of
trying to
game as well.
build
I'm not
shit.
going for the let's build. Hold on, bro.
Right.
What am I building? It's not my platform this interview is on. It's on your platform. No, give me my money and you can build the platform based on the views I'm gonna give you.
Right.
So that part I understand. I'm not going for no let's build, right? But yeah, I do agree with Sean in terms of because Charleston White, because Boosie, because other people have been so vocal about how much they're getting paid, now everybody and a mama is asking to be paid. I remember trying to book an interview at No Jumper, and it's somebody who we thought would be grateful to be on the platform, right? Because we just thought they was like an interesting character. They didn't really have like that much clout or nothing like that. It just seemed interesting. That person started asking, well, how much y'all pay? I said, huh? You? But that's the economy we're currently in right now.
Yeah.
Now, do y'all feel like that's a good thing or a bad thing? Because some of the interviews that y'all want don't happen because people, you know, be wanting to get paid a lot.
Boosie wanting more. Now, I'm going to put y'all on game too. A lot of y'all are saying that Boosie wants more money because of he took a picture with Charleston White. Because Vlad took a picture with Charleston White and Boosie's mad at Vlad. That's not true. This all comes after 6ix9ine got cool with Vlad. And Vlad's running around saying, yeah, that's the most I ever paid for an interview. And Vlad is like, I mean, and Boosie like, hey, like, nigga, we over here, we do crazy too. We do 100 parts. We do 100 part joints. And then the full interview, you making an extra million. Man, give me 5 more thousand. And that's why I'm saying, like, Vlad kind of being greedy.
For sure.
Cause it's like, Vlad, come on, bro. I run the YouTube too.
Exactly.
I see what you making, champ. Like, give him his bread, give him what he's worth, and let's keep the business going.
Right.
But Boosie is this is just what I'm hearing. Boosie's feeling some type of way because Vlad's running around talking about 6ix9ine this, 6ix9ine that. And he paid 6ix9ine a lot of money. I'm not gonna say it because that's his business, but he paid him a lot of money.
Say Cheats is saying Vlad is being greedy.
He is.
Let me know what y'all think, man. I think for a one-off interview, it'll be worth it. I think if you're asking for an extra $5,000 every time we do an interview.
Well, it depends though, because if I do this interview and it go crazy, I ain't got no problem continuing to pay you for it. But if I do this interview and it flop, I'm gonna have to pay you 30 next time. And if that interview flop, I'm gonna have to pay you 25. And if that interview flop, I'm gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but it's ways to negotiate though. I'm surprised that's a problem. Like it's ways to negotiate. Like, okay, if you want me to give you 5 more thousand, give me 20 more minutes of interview time. Cool. You see what I'm saying? 30 more minutes of interview time. I ain't bet. That's no problem. 30 more minutes, 5 more thousand. Cool. I ain't doing shit. I'm in the house. I ain't got nowhere to be. You feel me? Type shit.